She's always liked dating simulators. Get to know the characters' personalities. And guess what they will like and what they won't. Make choices based on love tactics, and be in anticipation of whether the characters will be happy with him or whether she will cross their boundaries. Love in the real world has ceased to have any meaning for her. The girl was congratulated on receiving the position. The guy was very happy because she really got her. The main character noticed that these two were destined for each other. The girl was shy and lacked courage, but Sotono-san very delicately and accurately advised her on this matter. The girl said that she was only acting in accordance with general instructions. Now this couple is happy. The woman turned to Miori. You said that in such situations you need to keep a smile. It was the manager. Miori said that she tried to smile, but the manager wasn't sure that a marriage counselor should be so serious and cold. You can see him off with a smile, because I want the main character to smile. Mr. Maruyama's phone rang. The girl grabbed the phone and immediately ran. She tried to catch up with the couple. She saw that Maruyama and Mikami could get hit by a car. She faced two choices. The first is to hide because it is dangerous, and the second is to save by risking your life. Miori decided to save them. On the long-awaited day of their wedding, luck turned away from her, but not scary. But they both survived and will be happy. It's a pity because she would like to see other main characters. The girl found it unclear where, and some guy stood next to her and spoke to her in an unfamiliar language. This wonderful young man looks at her, but she does not understand what he is saying. He looks like he's just inundated with requests for a meeting. This is Chambertin. He is 28. His profession is a lawyer. His salary is 1,200 comma. He was not married. There are no children from the family of father, mother, and younger brother. Compatibility with the main character. 60% proximity and location are 0. Miori grabbed her glasses and didn't understand what was happening. The girl stood up abruptly, making her head spin. She was lost in thought and didn't understand what this guy kept saying. He gave her his cloak and began to leave. Miori thought that the subsequent development of events could be determined here, but then she realized that this was not some kind of simulator. First, she needs to understand what happened. Miori had never seen such people before. From the way they speak and dress, one thing is clear. This is not Japan. Miori didn't understand at all what to do now. She doesn't even understand where to go or what to do, and it is at such a moment that your stomach needs to growl. Miori smelled a wonderful aroma. Perhaps it's coming from the cafe. When she entered the building, she saw strange men there. She didn't quite understand what it was, but then she couldn't believe her eyes. She was given a glass. Miori didn't understand at all whether she should drink it, but when she tried it, she realized that it was so delicious. Smells like come on apples and cotton candy. It's hard to believe that a girl would come to a bar all alone. The men believed that this woman was Marcio. Miol realized that she now understood what they were saying. Perhaps it was because she had been drinking, but she doesn't know at all what kind of woman Marcio is. Suddenly a man came up from behind and asked if she was Marcio's woman. If so, they asked for congratulations to keep her company. Miol began to understand everything a little. Another man and a girl came there and asked what they were doing here. The man said that they thought she looked like a Marcio woman. They just wanted to chat with her. The man who entered noticed that, if so, then he had a similar case. She was raised by one mother. There was no one to take care of her, so he picked her up. This is Mercy. Cabreras is so kind. He ordered the girl to greet them. This girl barely said that her name was Manyo. The man said that she was such a slow-witted person. She is so modest, quiet, and pitiful due to the sudden death of her father. She was unable to go out into public. People like her should be grateful that they cared. Miol realized that nothing good would come of this. Such a marriage will not happen. The man was shocked with you that the woman was going to contradict him, and noticed that her comments were unnecessary here. Miol said that she would not leave it like that, because women also have the right to choose. The man was furious that she was actually trying to make him look like an idiot. Miol said that he has no right to force her, and cannot marry her unless she wants to. The man shouted at her to shut up and started to raise his hand at her, but the owner of this bar grabbed his hand. He said that he forbids organizing a showdown in his establishment, so they have to get out. The man was furious and shouted that he didn't want to see her anymore. Afterwards, he shouted that this girl would regret becoming Marcio's woman. The bar owner noticed that she did something unimaginable. Miol didn't quite understand what he meant. A girl who could not get married becomes a disgrace to the family. They can only live as if they were already dead. So Miol ruined her life. She took off her cloak and threw it at the owner. She asked what it was like to fail sometimes. Bring different people together over and over until everyone finds a partner who will become their destiny. That's her job. That girl started crying and ran out of the room. Miol tried to stop her. Well, the owner grabbed her hand. The main character began to tell him that he should let her go. The man said she didn't pay. She owes him 5 svens per lamer. She must pay and then she can go on all fours. Miol didn't know how to tell him that she didn't have the kind of money they used in this place. The owner said that in this case she should pay in kind. The woman asked if he meant working as long as she drank. Miol remarked that she would be grateful if he didn't turn her in to the police and asked what she should do. The owner was surprised and said that's what she said. She must marry that girl. An unmarried girl becomes a martio woman. She will be looked at with contempt and censure. This is what it means to refuse a marriage proposal. Miol didn't understand at all what kind of nonsense this was. She couldn't even believe it. But this is a different world. There are no such concepts as common sense and moral values. The owner noted that he was interested to see if she could handle it. Miol said that she will do everything according to the general instructions. First, she needs to find Manhwa. After looking around a little, she noticed a girl with blue hair. Miol began to follow her and realized that she was going into the forest. Then he stands on a cliff. The girl had already started to fall, but Miol grabbed her. Miori introduced herself and said that she came from another country and, not understanding the situation, butted into the conversation, for which she apologized. Manhwa asked her to let her go. In her form, there was no longer any reason to live. The girl decided to ask if she said that because she became a Marcio woman. If so, she takes responsibility. Miol asks permission to help her get married. Miol said that she would continue, and first she should take her to her home. She will explain everything to Manhwa's mother. The woman was shocked with you that the marriage with Cabreras was over. The woman started screaming at her daughter and asking her how this happened. She said that she should know what it cost her to find someone. This man agreed despite the fact that she does not have a father. Miol said she was sorry. She couldn't watch how this man insulted Manhwa. The mother shouted that these insults could be tolerated. She does not understand how bitterly this woman becomes. Marcio Manhwa is an orphan, so there is no one to arrange her marriage. She is so unhappy, and yet she seems to be many years old. Everyone called her Martio's woman, and I say that she must be very lonely, and they asked me to keep her company. Even though he is much older than her, she should be grateful that he accepted her. Yes, his health is already failing him too, but nothing can be done. It's so hard. The fact that the mother, despite everything, found her groom is simply a miracle. And she doesn't understand at all how else to explain this to her. Manhwa began to cry and apologized to her mother. She said that she could not allow anyone to speak badly about her father, who was so kind to her and about her, even though she had put so much effort into raising her up. So if she can't get married, then think it's better for her to die and not cause any more problems. Her mother did not understand what kind of nonsense this was. She screamed at Miol and said that it all happened because of her. Manhwa tried to say that this woman saved her. She said that it suits her the man she will marry. The woman didn't understand at all what could be done. Yes, who doesn't even understand what's happening? Miol was informed that this was why she could do something. Now she asks her to excuse her. She will come back later. Miol didn't understand what to do now. The values of this world are very different from what they are used to, and yet she will make Manhwa the main character. But she just doesn't understand where to start with this, the man. Then told me that she was so calm, so he believed that she had already figured out the situation. She really needs to learn to think differently. In this world, there are no values that she is accustomed to. Here it seems a marriage of convenience is strange. Matching people based on their social class. Miol decided that she would break the laws of this world. 2 men came into the bar and told Rivard that they wanted red wine and whiskey. They were shocked when they saw the girl alone in the bar and decided that this woman was Marcio. They're just tired of it already. Miori has another problem. She doesn't know how to deal with this at all. The bar owner approached her and said that it was his wife. The men were shocked that Rivard got married and began to congratulate him. This became the reason for drinking. The owner thanked them, after which Miori approached him and asked what this meant. He told her to be quiet. Miori didn't quite understand what all this meant. And in what sense is she his wife? Rivard said that she should listen to him, in her country. Of course, I don't know about this, but here, if a girl comes to a bar alone, it's strange. If she wants to succeed, then she knows what to do. Come to think of it. Even when she was working, people at the agency told her to worry because she wasn't married. They wore wedding rings themselves, but she was never in a relationship, and he will be her husband, perhaps temporarily. Not that she wants it, but nothing can be done about it. The girl introduced herself and said that she was pleased to meet you. The man says that he keeps waiting for his turn when he is taken with someone, but still nothing. His friend noticed that he would become a Marzio man. Miori approached them and asked if it was summer that they were looking for someone themselves. The guy said that they didn't even think about it because everything is arranged by the parents. Miori asked what would happen if they could do it themselves. The man said that they don't know anything about the partners. Miori remembered that if there had been a profile card, things would have been different. Miori heard strange sounds and did not understand what it was. After which she saw in front of her a card that described the owner of the bar. Rivard works as a bar manager. His salary is 700. He has not been married and has no children. She has zero compatibility, intimacy, and disposition with him. Girl, remember that the man who saved her also had one. That time she also touched the badge. If she makes someone afraid, then a profile appears. This way, she can do something. A profile card reflects basic information about a person. Based on the information on it, you can search for a suitable person. Something else is also displayed. Miori didn't quite understand why she had zero compatibility, closeness, and affection with the owner. It's the same as in the simulator. If these indicators are 100%, then they form a pair. Miori was happy, but I don't quite understand how she should change the object. Rivard didn't quite understand what she was doing. The man told Rivard to get the bacon. Finally, she figured out the controls. If you point at two at the same time, their compatibility is shown. If for one, then compatibility with it is shown. You can use it. It's just like beating the game by watching the guides. Although these are cheats. But there's no other way for her to get out. Miori asked the owner if he had the paper. Rivard said she could use it on the back of those leaves. The back of these leaves is really easy to write on. She needs to write down information about all the men who come to the bar. It won't spread. Rivard noticed that something was wrong. Suddenly he realized that the map tree had fallen, and Miori is sleeping on the floor next to him. We need to make her pay for both the tree and for an overnight stay. He decided to take one of the cards it was on. He couldn't read it, but he saw a portrait there. It is so drawn, but he recognizes his visitor in it. He didn't quite understand what she was up to. Find their destiny. That's her job. Suddenly, the girl woke up. She realized that she had accidentally fallen asleep. Miori understood that he most likely saw her sleeping. This is not a dream but reality. But everything looks so much like a dream. For example, that she sees profiles. Her relationship with Rivard increased to 3%, and she did not understand why it increased, because yesterday it was still 0. It seems that this is all her reality now, and yet nothing has changed. Miori decided that she would make the main character happy. Her mother was very angry and told her not to come here anymore because it was impossible to find another husband. Miori provided profiles for today. The woman didn't quite understand what it was. Miori said that Manhwa could choose from among them those who would be interesting to her. The mother was shocked when she heard that she could choose. She had never heard of a girl choosing for herself. This is impossible. It's unclear if this will work. Miori said that with those chosen, perhaps not. Miori said that she will show Manhwa's profile to those she chooses. Manhwa was shocked that she already had her profile and didn't understand when she had time. In fact, the girl only copied what she saw. It will not be compatible if the person who is shown the profile refuses. If no feelings arise during the meeting, then it's also a failure. Well, if everything goes well, it will result in a relationship. Her mother said that this woman spoke so strangely that she did not understand anything. What kind of relationship is that? A marriage in which a person does not even know the face of his betrothed. It used to be like that in her country too. But now it has become normal to get to know a person first, and only then get married. Choose for yourself and not be forced. This is the only way the world will change. Miori noted that the one who can change the course of affairs in this country is Manhwa. The girl said it was too hard to do it alone. But Miori said that she is not alone in the form of her. There is her. Miori asked that she become the main character who would be happy. The mother said she couldn't take it anymore. First, destroy an already arranged marriage, and then offer something else that is unclear. Miori only puts unnecessary worries on her daughter. Miori said that even if the probability is only a percentage, she wants to find her fate. After all, if you just wait, nothing will change. The mother nevertheless agreed that she should try it. Marriage won't happen to itself, so she has to take responsibility for it. Miori noticed that Manhwa had already tried to commit suicide once and was ready to become Marzio's woman. The mother shouted that nothing could be done with her life. Mother and daughter hugged. The game is over, but she presses continue. Miori can replay as many times as necessary. And yet Manhwa doesn't understand at all how to choose. The girl can stay on interests, or she can take into account whether the person drinks or not. In any case, a decent meeting, she will still learn something new. Now Manhwa has chosen 5. The girl doesn't know what she can do the first time. Miori wasn't sure if they would come to the first meeting, but so what, it all starts from scratch. Miori decided to make every effort to make the main character happy a few days later. Rivard asked her in horror what she was doing. Miori asked him if he could put up a reserved sign outside. Rivard did not understand at all what this meant, and the girl told him that there would be a one-on-one meeting. Rivard asked Horrors what kind of meeting there was, and asked her why she was arranging her own rules here. Miori added that there was no talk of any restrictions. She was carrying a table and accidentally got caught. He started to fall on her, but Rivard saved her. They were so close. They were lying face to face. Manhwa entered there. She began to apologize for disturbing him. Miori greeted her and commented that she looked beautiful. Manhwa noticed that Miori chose the clothes herself. The aura has changed. Now Manhwa will meet 3 men, and she will choose based on feelings and appearance. Rivard did not understand at all how this could happen. It's time, so Miori hands her the profiles. If the conversation suddenly reaches a dead end, she can use them. Manhwa understood everything. Rivard could not say who should be chosen based on appearance, because he thought that it was worth inviting not 3, but more. Miori noted that this is a paradox of choice. Rivard didn't quite understand what this meant. For example, rather than choosing from 10 things, it is much easier to choose from 3. They welcomed the first applicant. He said that he was a doctor, and his name was Tran. In fact, he was already married, but his betrothed died. Manhwa believed that he had a hard time. The man confirmed this and said that she drank the experimental mixture that he prepared. But he didn't know that they couldn't be tested on people. Miori said that they were calling it a day. The second man is R. He runs a jewelry store, and I was always looking for a girl like her. Manhwa was shocked by that. The man shouted that he had finally found the uncut diamond that almost became Marzio's woman. He promised to turn her from a poor girl into a happy bride. The band stone will shine after polishing and will fit perfectly into his bench. Bored buyers with lots of money will buy this story. Miori gave Manhwa some water to drink. The girl was grateful because her throat was dry. Miori asked her how she liked the first 2. Manhwa thought they were too good for her. Now they have welcomed a 3rd contender. The man apologized for being late because he had urgent work to do and was finishing it at the last minute. He ran so hard that his throat was dry. Manhwa offered him her water and said that she had not touched it yet. He was very grateful for this, and when he drank it, he felt better. The man asked to introduce himself. His name is Wesley. He works as a tailor with his mother. The girl asked if this meant that he also lived alone with his mother. The man confirmed this run. His father died early. Manhwa said that her mother also raised her alone, and she would also like to help her with her work. However, this is not necessary, so she is even a little jealous of him. Wesley noticed that the mother was still stubborn. She decided that alone she would raise him in such a way that she would not be ashamed of him, even though he did not have a father's upbringing. Manhwa said she believes this is a parent's responsibility, and although he is of course very grateful to her, he understands why she refuses help, but it is still difficult to accept. Manhwa agreed with him and noted that she would like their mothers to be able to rely on them, at least a little. Therefore, she thinks that it will be easier for her if she gets married sooner. The man said that she thought it was her fault that she couldn't get married without her father. The girl said that this is not the case. It would be good if she had the opportunity to be close to her mother. Wesley noted that this is a really difficult question, the owner of Kuzminka. It's great that they got to talking like that. Miori agreed with him and was glad that the girl also talked a lot. It's really important to have something in common. If there is anything at all, it is much easier to open up yourself. And then the rule of mutual exchange comes into play. It encourages the interlocutor to also talk more about himself, especially if both have a similar situation. It seems that of all three men, Manhwa has the best conversation with him. Their compatibility is also quite good. Vesely could not talk about how they understood each other so well, because already at the first meeting they talked about so much. Manhwa was happy too. The man noticed that she would even get married and quickly calmed down her mother. Manhwa confirmed this, however Vesely asks permission for him to pretend that he never told her this. Manhwa didn't understand why the man admitted that he was embarrassed to discuss this. Because he is unworthy to marry her. He and his mother are barely making ends meet, and he won't be able to support both of them. At first, he was very happy about the news about the bride, because he always blamed himself for not being able to get married. Well, now, it would be possible to calm his mother down. He never thought that he would have such a pleasant time. It's great that he met her, and he is sure that she will still find her man. After that, the man began to leave. He asked for forgiveness, but Miori asked him to wait, because there is a solution to his problem. Wesley believed it must be some kind of magic. Miori said that she could work with him in the tailor shop. The man was shocked with you that she could work with him, after which he began to say that there was no way he could force the bride to work. This is not at all masculine. A man cannot get married because he does not earn enough. Miori said that if they worked together, their earnings would double. Wesley said that he could not allow a woman to work. Manhwa stood up and said that it couldn't be, and didn't understand why she didn't think of it herself. The girl has always only caused problems, so if she can help her future husband, then she will be the happiest. Wesley said that he as a man would be ashamed, and of course he won't be able to do that. Miori said that since they will start with a temporary relationship, he doesn't have to worry about it. Wesley did not understand at all what a temporary relationship was. Manhwa knew, because it was what was said earlier. First, they will have time to get to know each other. This is how temporary relationships work. There is one rule. According to it, they can recognize a person by meeting him 3 times. Rivard was completely shocked that it took 3 days, and it was so simple. Miori noted that this is a 3-set theory. The first meeting is an assessment of appearance. The second meeting is about rethinking the assessment. An ant meeting is about determining the overall impression and deciding whether a person can become a partner. And no matter how many times people see each other after the third meeting, the impression usually does not change. If people seem incompatible, the relationship ends and people break up. Wesley was shocked with you that they could just break up like that. After all, he believed that it was customary to stay with the chosen person all his life. Miori presented everything according to the general instructions. Here, the meaning of her world does not work. Wesley believed that they should not separate because they were not suitable for each other. He's sorry. He apologized again and said that he would now go. Manhwa said that she actually really liked the way he looked. She really liked the look of Wesley. The men were very surprised by this. At first, she didn't understand what it meant to choose based on appearance. Well, when he was talking to his mother, or about taking care of her, his face was so beautiful. Manhwa thought that she always wanted to see him nearby. Although a temporary relationship implies some kind of verification, they are needed to strengthen the connection, meet and talk, feel, whether they are compatible, and understand everything that is impossible to see. If they think they want to continue being together or are having difficulties, then they can turn to her. With all her heart, she wants them to become the main characters. Manhwa smiled. They've already finished. The first marriage counselor in this world. She seems to have done well. Rivard would never have thought that, if I choose by appearance, I can also see the inner world of a person. Miori said that this is not true. Rivard was angry because she herself said to choose your appearance to your taste and do it for yourself and not for your mother. Her job is to guide people according to theory, but the final choice is made by the main characters. Based on her experience, she can confidently say that things will work out for these two. But it's unclear what she should do now and where to go. Rivard stopped her and said that she should feel sorry for these two. He asked her if she listened to him at all. Miori said that first they should meet, and then they will decide. The man will notice that they agreed that there should be a wedding, tree of cards payment for overnight stay, for food, for drinks. Penalty total from her is 35,000 Sven. Miori promised that she would definitely bring the matter to the wedding. Although there are no guarantees, she apologized and said that she would definitely pay for everything she was just asking him for a little time. The man didn't understand how he could believe someone who came from nowhere at all, so she will stay here until she pays, and she will continue to do her job. She wrote off a bunch of leaves for her cards, which means she has a job. She decided to work at Rivard's establishment, after all, and he will do everything in accordance with the general instructions. Miori said good morning. She changed her clothes. Miori said that these were the first things that Manhwa sewed and gave to her. Rivard noted that it was not bad and looked comfortable. Overall, not bad for the first time. Miori thinks so too. Rivard asked her if she will wear them. Miori said that these are her clothes for the battle here. Suddenly, someone started calling my sister. Miori had no idea where the sound was coming from. Rivard said that he was the one talking to her. The boy noticed that he was talking to her as if she were Rivard's wife, and he loved Rivard like a brother. The girl asked him to simply call her Miori. The owner asked why he came here. The guy said that he heard that Vesely and his wife met here, and he thought that maybe he would be introduced to some girl. Miori said no to the girl, but to the girl. The guy immediately apologized because she looked very intimidating. In fact, he wants to get married as soon as possible. If he does not have a wife, he will not be accepted as a full-fledged person. But if you wait until they set him up with someone, you can grow old. If you think about it like that, she heard the same thing about Manos. Miori asked in what sense the word will mean. The guy asked me how those two met in the same way. They did everything there in a special way, and she herself is not local, so she doesn't know the details. In the country of Misel, there is an organization of marriage dating, Kura. When a child reaches adulthood, his parents enroll him in this institution. The consultant arranges the marriage based on family background and capital. The guy didn't know whether this was aimed at developing the country, but blacksmiths like him remain in the dust. He noted that it's great that girls are chosen based on their appearance. Miori was very angry, so he apologized. He thanked us for the food and said that he had to go to work, and he counts on his little sister. Organization of marriage dating, Kura. Honestly, if it doesn't work, maybe it's an option, but she doesn't have any girls she can imagine. Even if she was going to open a marriage agency, she didn't know where to invite girls from. Among the visitors, there are only men. If a girl came here, she would be mistaken for a Marcia woman. Suddenly, the main character came up with something. She invited Rivard to buy it. She apparently often said that she was now deeply in debt. Even if you lose, there is an opportunity to gain. She thinks so. She decided to ask when the weekend is in their country. Rivard said that you need to work for 5 days, and you can rest for 2. Just like in Japan, Miori said that next weekend they will have a free buffet, especially for women. Rivard did not understand in what sense it was. Free Miori said that in order for them to come here, it is necessary to make them understand what kind of place this is. They will come. Once they will come, the next time Rivard was confident that it would work. They will try what they sell here and want to come back. After these words, Vladimirovich decided to assert that this was really not bad. If everything works out, he will have more clients and they will both be in the black. Rivard nevertheless agreed, and he said that she could buy as much of it as she wanted. Well, Rivard said that there should be a notice board in the distance of the square. She put up a sign saying that on the next day off, there would be a free buffet for girls only and no men allowed. All that remains is to wait on the appointed day. For some reason, no one came. The girl didn't understand at all why no one came. Rivard noticed that there was no one there. Well, suddenly, the doors opened. They turned hopefully to see who had come. It was the same guy who asked for milk. Miori shouted that she couldn't be a boy today. Still, it turned out to be useless. Miori decided to go to the bulletin board. Perhaps their advertisements were torn down. If she doesn't hurry, the food will get cold. Well, when she arrived, she saw that the ad was hanging in its place. The girl you think for him is that they have nowhere to go. Miori apologized and asked them, "What about that place?" The woman saw a free buffet for girls. They couldn't even believe their eyes. Miori informed them that they were open right now, so they could definitely stop by. The woman noticed that if she comes with her husband, she will be able to save money. Another woman thought that it would be better to bring her daughter and son. Miori apologized to them and informed them that men were not allowed to enter there. The women were shocked with you that the bar was only for women. They said it was such a shame. The women decided that there was something unclean there, since everything was free. They don't even feel at ease, and it's dangerous to leave your daughter here alone. Still, no one Miori flew up and said that you shouldn't think that everything will work out right away. She decided to try the food herself. It's so delicious. Even if I lose one thing, they gain another. Rivard said that even though nothing worked out this time, next time everything will definitely pay off for them. Miori was informed that a complaint had been received from a customer. They said that everything is planned in advance, but feelings are not taken into account. Miori apologized and said that she wanted the best for them. It's okay to make mistakes, no matter how many times she makes mistakes. The main thing is to decide what to do next time. Miori thanked Rivara. She told him she was booking him and the bar for the following weekend. Miori put up another notice. Those women were surprised with you that the same girl posted an ad again. She's really stubborn. Rivard asked her if it was normal that the menu was the same, but the girl did not see any problem in this. Rivard wasn't sure if she knew what she was doing. This time, she curtained the windows and doors. The man was not sure that someone would come, because who would come in if you couldn't see what was inside? Rivard understood that failure awaited her again, but suddenly the doors opened. It was Manhwa. Miori was very happy that she came. The girl noticed that she saw the ad, and she also invited her friends. The girls noticed that they were so jealous of their father and brother when they came here. They were very glad that they finally came here themselves. Miori was very grateful, and Rivard was shocked with you that they really came here. Well, it's free thought, Rivard. But I saw that they paid 10 Sven. He didn't quite understand what she was up to. Rivard grabbed Miori's hand and asked if she was taking money from them. This time, Miori confirmed this. The man believed that this was the opposite effect. Miori added that there is a saying in her country, there is nothing more expensive than what you cannot buy. For example, expensive things are sold by attracting something free or asking to do something impossible. That's why she thinks there's something behind it, because even now it's doing it with hidden intentions. But after paying, people stop being so wary. Yes, we are starting to think about whether they should come here. Miori greeted everyone with joy. Now it's clear why so many people gathered. So that's her plan. The ladies were delighted that there were such delicious dishes. Although the meat is heavily seasoned, it is not at all difficult to eat. Girls have always dreamed of drinking at a bar. Many didn't even tell their parents that they were coming here, otherwise there would have been a fuss. It's so nice to sit here when no one is looking at them from outside. Now, Rivard understood why she had curtained the windows. The girls asked Manhwa if she met her fiancé here, and this is after the previous transfer was terminated. Although it was hard for her herself, there is a girl sitting over there who helped her a lot. The girls took notice because it's very cool, and they want it too. They all approached her together and asked if she could advise them on anything. Without a good pedigree or outstanding appearance, Kura will not even look at them. Many will become Marcio's women at this rate. The girl said that if you were beautiful, you could count on someone richer. Even here, marriages of convenience work. But this is Miori's chance. For the first time, collect profiles of girls. It's so good that she arranged everything. She asked the girls to fill it out. Many did not quite understand what it was, but she explained to them that it was a profile card. It reflects their type of activity and income, in case their potential partner is interested in them. They must fill them out. Women were shocked with you that they need to write about themselves. Miori was told that she would introduce them to potential partners, and if they were interested, she would arrange a meeting. The girls thought it was too arrogant to write their own desire. People may think they are too homemade, it confuses them so much. In Japan, too many are in no hurry to share personal data. Here things are even worse. With Manhwa, it was different. Miori didn't quite understand how she could make them understand. The woman noticed that it seemed like she was the only one winning here. She doesn't know when she will be introduced to the Kura. She waits and waits, no news from them. Well, she believes that it is indeed normal to be jealous of others. She asked Miori to help her fill it out. You also had to paint your portrait there. It will be easier to make a couple. I will find out the external data. But in fact, photos of the face and full body are very important. Miori asked if she could look at her face. When she took off her mask, the girl saw a beautiful lady in front of her. All the girls were shocked that it was Sarahan. The girl said that she had heard rumors that people were meeting here. She came only with the intention of scouting the situation, but she was lucky her request was accepted. Sarahan noted the wishes. In them, she wrote that she wanted the right person for herself. Really, she doesn't care about anything anymore. Miori didn't understand at all what this could mean. Men understand that she is still just as beautiful. The other man told him to stop. Apparently, he couldn't get this lady anyway. Wishing the impossible Sarahan. She is the only daughter in the family of a florist and is known as the first beauty in the city. Therefore, you might think that the Kura would immediately find a match for her. But they say that she received many offers from high-ranking officials, but turned out to be very selective. It seems she was inundated with gifts. Everyone is envious. She selected her groom so carefully that she was nicknamed the one who wanted the impossible. And apparently, she still hasn't settled on anyone. She heard rumors that people were being brought together here. She then said that Lyosha came with the intention of scouting out the situation. But she was lucky Rivard noticed that she was selective. He noticed that Miori had recently talked about the paradox of choice. The ability to choose brings with it a feeling of superiority and even omnipotence. Since it always seems like there is a better person to find, making a decision often becomes impossible in the end. It seems that this is just her case. The man looked at her with such loving eyes. She's so beautiful, one of them noted, that he would be proud if he had such a wife. His friend said he was a fool because they were no match for her. After that, Miori came up to her and said hello. The woman asked if she had found the right person for her. Miori said that she hasn't yet, and that she would like her to tell her more. Sarahan believed they were whispering about her. It's all true. She is the one who wishes the impossible. She was born into the family of an ordinary florist and thought that being introduced to someone would not be easy. But thanks to her external beauty, she immediately received a marriage proposal. She was happy, but she received an offer from a man of high position. He showered her with gifts. The men argued about whether she was suitable for them or their sons. Many believed that she was planning a marriage of convenience, but she knows her worth. She constantly found people who were either scary or rather short or boring, who were not attractive in appearance. Later, she realized that although all flowers wither sooner or later, it was hard to accept. Only the moment of flowering is valued the right man for her. She didn't mean what she wanted to choose. She meant to be chosen. Miori reported that it was possible to arrange a meeting with her. However, until she gets rid of her curse, nothing will change, because marriage is not something that is decided for her. Marriage is when a person decides for himself. Sarahan did not understand what to do. Miori said that she would do everything according to the general instructions. She feels bad asking for it, but it has to wear the robe like last time. The girl was surprised by this. She could wear regular clothes underneath. The Sarahan is at the 9th, so you can wear regular clothes on a date. When she arrived, she wasn't sure exactly, or if everything would be fine. Miori noticed that they were waiting for her. Sarahan was grateful and started to take off her robe, but Miori stopped her and said that she didn't have to take it off. Sarahan asked her if this means that she will sit in this dirty robe for the entire meeting. Miori asked her to also wear a mask. The woman did not understand at all what the point was in this, because her face would not be visible at all. Miori asked her to calm down because her interlocutor would have the same thing. She did not change the profile card she filled out in any way. The woman did not understand how she was suggesting that she conduct this meeting. Miori noticed that she had already seen a lot of people of different positions, appearances, and physiques. But men saw only her beauty. The mask will nullify her weapons. Miori asked if she could fight like this. Sarahan agreed. She decided that whether she wore a mask or not, nothing would change for her. Her potential partner entered the room. Unlike that time with Manhwa, they sit alone. This is in principle considered normal, although men often allow such frivolous meetings. Many people refused her, but this man turned out to be so shy that she thought that he was the best option. Reborn suggested that perhaps because of this they would not talk, but in general they had good compatibility. If only they could find something to talk about. Sarahan didn't understand at all why he was silent. If this continues, then it turns out that she must talk about something. Usually, all people seeing her face say that she is so beautiful and will definitely be their wife. And then she can only laugh quietly. What a dummy she turns out to be. Everyone evaluates only with their eyes. But even if she is not selective, sooner or later, she herself will stop loving her. The man poured water on himself, and Sarahan immediately jumped up and asked him what he was doing. He apologized and said he was so worried that he forgot about the mask. And she's used to working with water, so everything is fine. Now, the man understood why she had such rough skin on her hands. Sarahan considered him a boor. Videos of people working with flowers, always rough skin in general. Although she always hides her hands under kama gloves this time, she was told to come in regular clothes, so she forgot about them. Her hands are the only weak point that does not fit into her beauty. And although you can't evaluate it now, you can notice this. The man noted that my hands are great for you, because these are the hands of a hardworking person. He said that his hands also suffer from work, but there is one good ointment. Sarahan was surprised and said that she would like to know about her. They did a great job. And when the girl took off her mask, she noticed that her whole face was sweating. Miori decided to ask her how she liked this date, Sarahan, how to find that she really looked at the situation without using her weapon. She decided to provide her with a profile card of the person she was communicating with. After a personal meeting, she will give him her card. Naturally, even after the meeting, they can refuse. Miori asked if she agreed. As they both stood opposite each other, Miori said that they should take off their masks and robes. The man was in complete shock and did not understand how when he recognized Sarahan. The man could not believe that this was the unattainable woman. However, he was forced to refuse, after which he apologized. Reborn and Miori did not understand why at all. Sarahan noticed that there was nothing new. She just decided to run away. Miori ran after her and tried to stop. Her Sarahan noted that being popular is not easy, but she didn't even give him her profile card. Miori apologized, but the girl told Shori that she shouldn't apologize because she herself came to this meeting. A girl who was selective and wanted a high-status man with money. It wouldn't be surprising if they abandoned this one. So this is what it feels like to be rejected. Miori points out that natural human psychology is to want to find someone better. If she now understands what it means to get close to someone, then the next meeting will go better. Miori said that she would wait for her again. Sarahan was very grateful to her. By the way, Miori asked the girl why she decided to meet with him. Sarahan said it was just like that. Reborn told the man that this was so in the form he had finally been chosen. The man said that he couldn't do that because he was a simple fisherman, also ugly, and we were still very far from this beautiful Sarahan. They chose him only because they did not know either his face or his occupation, and he thinks that if she had found out the truth earlier, she would have been immediately disappointed. Reborn said that he would build her attitude from scratch, and he added that since they met face to face, it means that something about her attracted him. Well, if the interest was only on his part, then he thinks she would not reciprocate, and the fact that she has already been rejected makes her more valuable. Suddenly, the man broke down and began to run somewhere. Miori smiled because he still remembers her words. Reborn said that since she came, he asks her to clean up that table. Miori often thought about this. Her country also has a similar way of meeting. It is easier for a person to share his true feelings when his face is hidden behind a mask. Reborn points out that it is so ironic that true emotions come out when you try to hide them. Miori asked him if he wanted to try it on too. Reborn asked her what will happen. The men talked about Sarahan. She doesn't change, she's still just as beautiful. There's no way they'll get it. The same man from the secret meeting approached her and provided her with something. She didn't quite understand what it was. The man said that this was the ointment for rough skin that he was talking about. It's inexpensive, but it helps a lot. As if there was a sweetness that could not be obtained anywhere. Her subtle bouquet of roses, large jewelry, on the first cool dress Sarahan dreamed about her. The girl felt so pleased. She asked him if he would introduce himself first. Reborn decided to ask Miori what she intended to do. The girl said she wanted to host girls' days at the bar on a regular basis, and also find a partner for Sarahan. It is also necessary to improve men's profile cards. You also need to create a comfortable atmosphere so that people can calmly consult. But suddenly, men burst into the store. Miori didn't understand what it was at all. They started shouting that they were saying that Sarahan and Potter were on good terms. Miori was shocked because she knew that they did not agree to this. More girls burst in and asked if it was true that she and the fisherman had a meeting. When the men heard that they had a meeting, they were even more shocked. The woman said that she had heard it from them, so there could be no mistake. Everyone was shocked that she had found the right person for her here. The girls decided that they too would fill out a profile card, but some were still wary of this because they did not believe that it was possible to get married by simply filling out a card. Rivard said that a couple of problems had already been resolved. Miori was also happy about this. But if this continues, then a separate room will be needed, and then they can make another entrance and a waiting room. You will also need a bunch of map tree sheets. Rivard shouted to her that she should not forget that she was deeply in debt. Miori considered him a miser. This is great because the new premises were ready. They also made a separate entrance, and they even hung a sign. She left the name of the company she worked for. Miori was very grateful to him. The man said that if you don't need to make a foundation, then you can do it in no time. Rivard was glad because now the work of the sheep had to be suspended, and no one will disturb visitors. The builder noticed that they didn't expect anything else from him. He did everything as she asked, and yet she is not sure whether he is truly happy. Rivard added, Sven 2 million to her debt. Miori realized that he was not happy at all. The builder thought it would be a bar restoration, but he doesn't understand what the bride's room is. No man will say that marriage is bad. Miori was shocked because he has no desire to get married. She was surprised that people in this world believed such nonsense. If so, it is not clear why an unmarried woman is called Marchio. The man told the teacher that he had already finished his work. The chief builder was delighted. Miori believed that this was his son, but the guy said that this was not, so he was his fucking student named Sir. Rivard asked what was wrong with Coes. He heard that they do the same thing as the chicken. So the man asked them if they could help his daughter, even though he registered her as a kura. Even though he is an experienced carpenter, he was put at the very end of the line. If they marry her off, he will not take money from them for working here. Rivard said that there is nothing more expensive that you cannot buy. Then he asked what Miori's plans were. Miori promised to do everything according to the general instructions. His daughter Kantara had already come with him and met Miori. She immediately asked for forgiveness if her father said something wrong. But Miori assured the girl that everything was fine, and it's such a coincidence that she was the first client here. First, she must fill out a profile. She wrote in her wishes that anyone would suit her. Miori was surprised, and added that in those points she could indicate, for example, hobbies, food preferences, or something else. Coles said that she doesn't care who her groom is, because she doesn't really want to get married. The girl just wanted to do housework. Since childhood, she was praised for her talents, and she thought that she would follow in her father's footsteps. But he said that he would make Sir his successor, and she would have to get married. Her happiness is working with wood, and if she can't do it, then she doesn't care what happens next. Miori became a marriage agent in order to make people happy. Marriage to this girl will not lead to happiness. If so, then all she can do is solve this problem at the cost of her existence. Rivard approached them and said that filling out the card would be enough for today, and they would contact her. Coles counted on their help and decided to leave everything to them. Rivard said that in the south, where she went, there was a forest called Varant's herbs, grow there, so she must go and collect them. Miori tried to stop him, but he said that there was no rest and she had to work. Miori mentioned that this is the place where it first appeared. It is not clear why she went into Rivard's bar, suddenly interfered in the affairs of this world. Miori thought there was a reason why she was here. Well, if marriage does not bring happiness, then she does not understand the meaning of her existence. Meanwhile, the man asked Rivard where his wife was. At first, he was surprised, and then he said that she had gone into the forest to get herbs. It was reported that a monster had appeared since yesterday. Rivard was simply horrified when he found out about this. Meanwhile, Miori met a wolf there. These are clearly the eyes of a predator. Miori ended up in this world after she died. Perhaps the diehards will return home. Suddenly, a man appeared out of nowhere and began to fight the monster. He defeated him easily. Miori was shocked with you that the monster escaped. The man she saw asked her if she was injured. She realized that he was very similar to the man she saw for the first time. Even though they only met for a second, he must remember her. He said that all this time she haunted him. The man said that he was in a hurry then and left her here. He's very sorry. Miori realized that he really remembered her. The girl said that it was nothing, because this robe helped her a lot. She also apologized for only saying this now. He said that the monster had now reappeared in the forest, and he was keeping order. He was surprised that she didn't know about it. Miori admitted that she was simply sent here on an errand. She was shocked that perhaps Rivard knew it was dangerous and sent her anyway. But she immediately realized that this could not be so because she still owed him. The guy asked if she was talking about Rivard, who owns the bar. Miori was surprised that he knew him. The man said he had been to this bar a couple of times. Miori apologized and said that she didn't see him there at all. Well, it's no surprise that she didn't see him, because when he goes out in public on business, he disguises himself, but that's not important now. When she found herself right in front of the monster, she didn't try to run away, and he wonders why she acted like that. Perhaps she could return to the previous world. You can't tell him about this. He handed her something, after which the girl asked what it was. He said that if she wanted, she could help herself. These are sweets to calm down. In a tense moment, Miori was truly grateful to him. But I didn't quite understand what was happening. It's sweet and makes her feel better. With one bite of sweetness, all worries will disappear in an instant. This is a family legend. Now she will talk about her fears. She came from another world, so she does not understand the local rules and customs. She thought she could handle it completely on her own. Well, that's what she thought. A man asks to marry his daughter, but she doesn't want to get married. You can get married only of your own free will, and if this is not so, it contradicts its own principles. The man noticed that this was arrogant. She helps other people for her own satisfaction. If this is the case, then it is better to contradict the principles by doing so without hesitation. Even in dating sims, she often had to go against the rules to see all the endings. That guy didn't quite understand what a dating sim was. However, the girl she played has ended up with a bad ending. Miori is very grateful to him, because she remembered that she had something to do. She added that she would wash the robe and then return it. Well, the man insisted that she keep it because it suits her very well. First, you need to talk to Kantar and Coles. This sound seems familiar to her. Perhaps it is the monster again. But Rivard looked out from the bushes. It was clear that he was running with a sword in his hands. Miori was very scared when she saw him, and the man asked in horror if she was okay. Miori shared and said that she was fine. Rivard realized that she did not seem to be injured. Rivard said that she doesn't care about the herbs, and they returned to the bar. Miori tried to stop him. She really asked him to take her to Kantar. Rivard was surprised, but complied with her request. The girl immediately ran up to Kantar. He was surprised when he saw Rivard with his wife. The girl said her name was Miori. He believed that she had already found someone for his daughter. Miori said that she decided that she wanted to talk to the two of them first. Kantar said his daughter and his wife had gone shopping, but they would be back soon, so they could wait inside. The guy served the guest. Miori thanked him, and noted that he was like a duck to water here. The guy confirmed it, and noted that he had been working here since he was 7 years old. The girl was surprised that he started his work so early. His father worked a lot with Kantar. He died due to an accident at work, and his mother soon died too. The teacher could not stay away and took him to his place. He raised him along with his own daughter. They studied together. His sister supported him, despite the fact that nothing worked out for him, and he is very grateful to her for that. But by his mistake, he took her place. My father said that it was not his fault. Suddenly, a daughter and her mother came into the room. Coles said that it was not he who took her place. It was her father who replaced her. As soon as she turned 18, they immediately decided to marry her off. Now, in addition to turning into a kura, he asks Miori for help. She asked her father, and he told me that she would follow in his footsteps. She always wanted to do this work. Her father shouted at her to stop, because only marriage would make her happy. Kantar ordered Miori to quickly find her a husband. Miori said that she thought he would be found quickly. After all anyone will do, the man was surprised, and asked again. Miori reported that this was his daughter's wish. If character compatibility is not important, then she thinks that they will immediately notice someone. Since she cannot follow in his footsteps, it does not matter to her who becomes her fiancé. The father started screaming that he wanted it. The mother tried to calm them down. Miori said that there is one way, and this meeting is through representatives. They like parents will meet halfway instead of her. Coles suggested that this was a great idea, and she agreed, if it was the person chosen by her father. Kantar didn't understand at all how this was so. Rivard decided to ask the builder what he didn't like. After all, this is exactly what he wanted. Kantar said he understood and agreed to this. Miori said that in that case, they would do everything according to the general instructions. They finally returned to the bar. The guy noticed that they were already late because he was already starting to worry. He was glad that his little sister was okay too. Miori didn't quite understand in what sense. Okay was okay. Therefore, the guy said that the owner did not know that it was forbidden to go into the forest, so he rather hurried after his little sister. It's clear which means he didn't try to send her to certain death in the forest. Miori was grateful to him, but the guy told her to better tell him what kind of meeting it was through representatives. In her country, this is being practiced more and more often. Parents come to the meeting instead of their children. The circumstances may be difficult, or the person himself may not agree. Of course, there are downsides to this, but she hopes she can channel them. Rivard was happy because she became more confident. Miori noted that first, they need to find the text about who will come to the meeting with Kantar. The woman apologized and said that she had heard that a meeting would be held through representatives with Kantars. Miori confirmed this and said that both parents would come on a date instead of their daughter, and then they would invite their partners. The woman noted that it must be difficult to do this without options, so she asked if she could go to this meeting. Kantar didn't understand at all why Coes was so stubborn. He's on the mark that she's definitely into him. Regarding the meeting, she would like to respect Coles's wishes. The father shouted that this was enough for him, because that won't work. His successor heard all this, and I didn't even know how to react to this. Little Coles was very happy and asked her dad to look, because she made the cabinet herself. Mom was also delighted, because she made it for her. The little girl said that it's difficult for Mom without a locker, and he's always busy. The man was shocked. The foundation looked so strong. He told his daughter that she was talented, just as I expected from his daughter. She will follow in his footsteps. The little girl was happy and said that she would also become a carpenter. Kantar had this dream. His wife told him it was time to get up, because we already need to get ready. Miori informed A that the meeting through representatives was beginning. Miori told them to call her if they needed anything. The man was glad to meet you. He introduced himself and introduced his wife. She was also pleased to meet you. Another woman said she was Boju. Her husband and son are now busy at work, and she is very grateful to them for this meeting. Kantar didn't quite understand what he needed to do, so before the meeting, he asked Miori what he should do. The girl said that he could first introduce his child, and then discuss issues in which both families were interested. After this, if no problems arise, the children themselves come to meet you. Kantar decided to try. He said that until the age of 18, his daughter helped him with the family business. She is responsible, serious, and capable. Also, his daughter is attentive to others, and a kind girl. Boju noted that she knew this because they had used his services before. The man was shocked, so he decided to look at the profile card. The hotel is the only place in the city where you can stay, and he remembered that about 3 years ago, he was renovating the rooms, and then he refused them a big favor. Then his daughter also helped. Her husband was very impressed with her hard work and good taste. That's why she's so glad to meet them. A woman who seems kind. The son of the owner of a popular hotel. If his daughter marries him, then the father will be calm. Boju added that she would be so happy if their daughter marries her son. This way, they can maintain order in the hotel for free. Kantar was shocked when he heard and asked again. The woman said that she looked like a strong and physically strong girl. The man stood up and began shouting to ask if she wanted to say that this woman wanted his daughter to work for them as a carpenter. The woman confirmed this and said that she was suitable to become their son's bride. As he said earlier, his daughter will not continue his business. Boju noted that it was a pity to release such a treasure. If she already had to work there, then at a minimum, she should become the owner of the hotel. But the woman said that the daughter of a carpenter was not suitable for such a position. Everyone must know their place and must use what is at their disposal wisely. The man laughed and did not understand how he could give his precious daughter to such a place. He agrees that she would rather stay with them. The woman said that if she stayed at home, she would not show her talent, but with them she could be useful. Kantar shouted for the woman to get out, because there's no way she can have his daughter. After the woman left, the carpenter realized that he had ruined everything, but he did not understand how anyone could say such a thing, and even think that about someone's daughter of the carpenter Coes and Sul. The girl didn't quite understand why he came, and the guy said that he was just worried. She was not only offered marriage, but also entrusted with work as a carpenter, and she believes that this is an ideal option for marriage. Well, the father did not agree because they want to use her. If this is so, then she asks to let him stay at home, as he himself said. It doesn't matter that she won't follow in his footsteps, she asks him to at least let her work with him. The man thought and said that this would not happen, because in marriage she would become happy. Marriage is the cemetery of life. Miori noticed that now they say this in the sense that by getting married, a person loses freedom and becomes happy. However, the expression originally meant, love each other with all your souls and get married in a church where there are graves. Coles chooses work in favor of his partner. Miori asked Kantar if he wanted his daughter to become Marcio's woman even while married. His wife asked him if he should tell the truth. Coles was surprised and did not understand what her mother was talking about. One day he was drinking with friends. They asked if his daughter was already 18 and asked if she was already registered in the Coes. The man said not yet. His friends started shouting that it was very strange that he did not want to marry her off. After all, she won't find a groom on her own. Therefore, she urgently needs to be married off. Kantar said that he was actually going to give her his business. The men were completely shocked and asked him if he was serious. Kantar confirmed this and said that they themselves know that she is very talented, and someday she will surpass him as a carpenter. His friends said that this was completely impossible. Of course she is a master, but it is impossible for a woman to take on the role of head. His friends said that a woman could not be trusted with such a job, or he wanted his daughter to die all alone. Kantar only wanted her to inherit his business, but he can't let her be alone when he heard that, while he is alive, everything is fine. But what will happen to her when he is gone? That's why he wants her to get married so much. Coles was in complete shock when Sur suddenly intervened in the conversation. He decided to ask if he could marry his daughter. Kantar was in complete shock. Sur added that of course the proposal is official. If they get married, she can continue to work, but as his wife. And in this way, all formalities will be observed. Mom asked the guy if he was really ready to do this. His father asked him if he really wanted this strong-willed and stubborn girl to become his wife. When he found himself without family, she was there so that he would not wallow in loneliness and self-hatred. She always supported and cared for him, and nothing could have made him happier. As an opportunity to create a real family with her, Coles started to cry. Kantar said that was great, and suggested that they plan the wedding soon. But Coles refused, because she is not ready to marry a man who has less skills and intelligence than her. The father asked her if she said that she did not mind him deciding. Rivard noticed that she really said this. Her mom said that meant everything was settled. Coles wanted them not to talk, as if she was not here, although everything would remain the same. Well, she wonders when they will announce it. Miori issued a profile card. Coles didn't notice that it was time to delete it. Boju kept wondering how it would end, and it looks like everything turned out great. And although the wedding is still a long way off, she is very glad that she could help. Miori noted that in the end, she had to make her out to be a bad person, so she asks for forgiveness. Boju said that there was nothing wrong with this, because there was also some sincerity in it. When the gentleman helped them with the reconstruction, the new interior of the rooms proposed by his daughter received many positive reviews. Such a combination of delicacy and practicality makes a strong impression, and it would be a pity if such talent was wasted. Boju said that perhaps Coles was very lucky with this marriage. Miori noticed that in other words, Mr. Kantar agreed after all. Boju added that I should still entrust my work to men alone. She approaches that it's time for her to return to work, and she asks her to take care of the marriage, and her price too. Rivard added that her debt is growing and growing. Miori noticed that more and more people are finding their destiny. Miori was simply horrified and asked what would happen to the payment for her room. It will increase for a long time by another 2 million Sven. The girls asked Rivard what he could advise them, because they wanted to place an order. Lately, girls have been coming to the bar more and more often. It seems that they come precisely because of him. It's not surprising because Rivard is popular. Quark asked her if she was worried. He noticed that it was really good to be handsome. There is probably no end to those who want to meet him. While ordinary workers are trying their best to keep their place, Miori, who that he himself has a forge, and he will be busy with business, and attention will be paid to him. Quark believed that no one seemed to know that he was married to her. Miori noticed that they didn't really tell anyone they were telling the truth, but she didn't mention that anymore. Quark said that's why they need the rings. Rings are an important part of a marriage. They also act as protection from female fans. The guy promised that he would make them wedding rings, but Miori said that it was not necessary. Quark didn't really understand why, because he assumed she was worried. Reborn turned to them and asked why they were making noise. Quark collected the measurements and told them to definitely wait for the result. Rivard asked the girl what he was up to. Rivard added that clients should also come to her now. Someone who doesn't need marriage and doesn't need a ring. Miori got to work. A dream came to her. The girl said that Dance, with whom they had been communicating, recently contacted her. This time, nothing worked out, as if the man did not understand at all why when it comes to relationships, he is always rejected. That he has an attractive appearance and is easy to talk to, so everything is close to a relationship. But the woman gets tired of him talking only about himself and interrupts and begins to talk about himself. Girls have a hard time with someone who imposes their views. The show-off type tries to put himself in the best light. She has no evil intentions towards him, however. Even if she tells everything as it is, he is unlikely to understand. But she does everything according to the instructions. That's her job. She said that when talking with a person, he should try to imitate his words and actions. If a girl touches her hair, then he should touch his hair too. He can copy facial expressions. It would also be nice to repeat after the person. He didn't understand at all what the point was. Miori said that when someone is in competition, it is easier to get close to them and easier to fall in love with. This is called the mirror effect. This will make it easier to listen to your interlocutor, and the conversation will go better. The man understood and decided to try the mirror effect, but it didn't work out for him. When he seemed to copy, they only got scared. Miori realized that he had obviously overdone it. He didn't understand at all what to do. Miori suggested that he simulate the situation. She invited him to go to the bar, after which she asked the owner for 2 drinks. After which, they sat down at a table, and Miori told him to copy her movements and words. They drank together, after which Miori asked if it was delicious. The man said that this was true because he was the one who recommended this bar, after which he immediately realized that it was a mistake and said that it was really delicious. Miori added that she got lost here the other day while she was running errands. He noticed that girls tend to have poor orientation. Miori showed him again that this was wrong, after which he tried to act surprised that she was lost. After which, the girl asked how he liked this mirror effect. To be honest, the conversation is tedious and doesn't seem to make sense. Miori said that if the conversation is difficult, then you can only adjust to your facial expression. He decided that if this was the case, then everything would work out by itself. Miori advised him to take advantage of this on his next date. Miori said that there was one place she would like to visit. I decided to ask where she would like to go, and noticed that he would be glad to go there with her. Miori was Rose's answer. There was at least some progress. It's more like a mirror effect. Well, it's awkward because he was so carried away by talking about himself that he thought that his interlocutor was also interested. It's normal to be rejected. She worked with him all the time, that's why he's so sorry. Miori noticed that he knows how to develop a conversation, and this also has its own charm. He should focus on the good things, and he will be able to build a wonderful relationship. And she in turn will do everything in her power. She said they needed to take a short break. In the meantime, she will get them more drinks. He was very happy because she was trying so hard for him. When she approached the owner, she was in complete shock when she found out that she also had to pay for the seats. Rivard noted that this is natural because she is here as a visitor to me at my workplace. She said it was arbitrary because she was paying for the drinks. Rivard promised to include all this in her debts. Sean believed that they didn't get along at all, that he noticed that with him she was completely different. Rivard decided to ask her if she was okay. Miori didn't understand at all how she could be okay when she was all in debt, after which she approached Sean and apologized for taking so long. The guy was very grateful to her. From that moment on, Sean had a meeting, and today they seemed to have started a relationship. Miori thought that it would be very good if we stayed not together. Miori happily reported that, well, Donna, from whom he was currently communicating, asked to organize another meeting. This is so great. He was a complete step, so the girl asked if everything was okay. He apologized and said that he could not. Miori was in complete shock and believed that something was wrong. He said the point is that there is a person he likes. Therefore, he cannot continue communicating with Donna. Miori was upset. She said it was wonderful that someone he liked had appeared. She said that in this case, she would convey his refusal to the girl and cancel the appointment. Suddenly, he shouted. He asked Miori if she would marry him. The girl didn't even have words. He said that when things didn't work out for him, she was always there and supported him. She was the only one who understood him. Miori was completely shocked because this is her job. Miori asked him to calm down. When Donna smiled at him, he remembered Miori's smile, and then he could no longer answer her in kind. He said that he wants to smile with Miori. This is the hair effect. When a person sees someone often, and they have a good impression of that person, it begins to seem like that person is a perfect fit. On top of everything else, they practiced mirroring, and the result was simply incomparable. Miori said that she is a consultant after all, and she cannot return his feelings. He asked her if she was married, and asked her to take him seriously. He decided to once again tell her to marry him. Miori was in shock and did not understand how to react. Suddenly, Rivard came up behind him and said that no, because she was already his wife. Sean was already there when he found out that she was married. He was shocked because she was lying to him. Rivard said he could call it whatever he wanted. They just didn't say they were married. Sean shouted that they didn't get along at all, and there was no mirror effect between them or anything else. Sean was furious about this, that everything he did was pointless. Miori tried to say something to justify herself, but Rivard stood in front of her and said that he wanted to be with this person all his life, and it's natural that he cares about his partner. If he really wants this, then his business and even his soul will be in motion. And now he imposes his feelings and reproaches her for the fact that everything is not going the way he wants. And he thinks that this way he will be happy with her. Sean was very upset. Miori apologized to Sean and said that she cannot reciprocate his feelings and she will always be Rivard's consultant and wife. Miori promised Sean that she would do her best to bring him happiness. Sean asked to be excused and started to leave. Miori apologized to Rivard and at the same time thanked him for his help. Rivard asked how often this happens. Miori said that this was the first time this had happened to her, but this had happened to her colleague before. Clients sometimes admit their feelings, but accept any outcome. It seems that they get tired of looking for their person and choose a partner among those who are close to them. She had been told to wear a ring before, so that clients would not pester her. Apparently, there really was a point in drawing this line. Rivard asked her to give him her left hand. Rivard put the ring on her. Miori was delighted. The man noticed that Quark had recently come in and gave them to him. He's on time. Now she is a real wife. Miori also put a ring on him. Rivard points out that he is truly a master of his craft. Her debt has increased even more. It's getting quite expensive. Rivard said that he will pay for the rings himself. This is the first gift to her, his wife. Miori was very grateful to him. However, if she loses, she will pay twice as much. Miori understood and promised to be careful. When she looked at the ring again, she was very embarrassed. For some reason, her whole face is burning. The girls came to her and said that they would like to make an appointment. Miori duly told them to fill out their profiles. These were the girls who came to Rivard's bar. They were very unhappy because Rivard was his wife, and his ring was sparkling. The effect is truly impressive. Miori said that she would let them know if they were compatible with someone. Suddenly, she saw Sean there. The man did not know how to ask if he could consult with her again. Miori noted that he could certainly get this consultation. She will do everything as instructed. She added that many people have signed up now. He was delighted. Quark noticed that there were fewer visitors among the girls because of the ring. Rivard noted that one could say that he bought himself peace of mind. Miori was receiving visitors again. Recently, the number of clients has increased. Because they receive such good reviews, there are also more profile cards. This is so great. Despite this, it is difficult to make pairs. The portion of people who enter into temporary relationships is 20–30%. And even when someone matches each other in appearance, but their values coincide, there is a chance that the person will be rejected. If she, as a consultant, cannot help, then it will not be good. Suddenly someone knocked. Miori was delighted because this was the man from the forest. The man remembered that he did not introduce himself. His name is Chambertin. In fact, she learned his name back then with the help of his badge. She thanked him again for saving her in the forest. The man said that there was no need for gratitude and asked if everything was fine after this incident. Miori said yes and noted that it was all thanks to him. Chamberlain was glad to hear this. She asked why he came here and not to Rivard's bar. The man said that he heard that you can find a marriage partner here. Miori remembered that when they met, she thought that he was the one who would never stop asking for a meeting. Miori asked him if he was sure that he wanted to leave the application. Chamberlain noted that he would like to know more details first. So first you need to fill out your profile card. Suddenly, someone knocked and a man came into the establishment and said that he would like to use the services of their marriage agency. Miori was grateful for the request, although she is currently busy working with another client, so she apologizes. But Chamberlain said that he would come later. Miori asked him if everything was okay. The guy said that everything is fine. He will come later. The man said goodbye and left. Miori asked the masked man to fill out a profile card. When she looked at his card, she saw that he was a doctor. She didn't understand at all why such a person decided to come here instead of a chicken. Miori decided to ask him how he found out about their establishment. The man said that his patient told him about this place. He visited Kura several times, but none of them were successful. But here, he seemed to see a ray of hope. At the end, he needs to add his portrait, so he has to take off his mask. The man was surprised by this. Miori informed him that this was necessary for the profile card. After this, the man took off his mask. The stranger apologized for his appearance and noted that she must be surprised. No one will choose him as their partner. Miori began to draw. I said that everyone has different tastes. And besides, some people may change their impressions after talking with him. She would be honored to help him get into a good relationship. When he saw the portrait, you were surprised that it was him. Miori apologized because she was not very good at being an artist, but he was counting on her. Miori said that he would do everything as directed. He also wants to see an honest person in his partner. First, she needs to find someone suitable in character. That man, the doctor, was walking through the forest, and there stood Chamberlain behind the tree. Miori ended up organizing a meeting for the doctor. And yet doctors in this world are very popular. This time, she will try again to create the perfect couple. They decided to start the meeting. Miori told the doctor to take off his hat and mask. But the man was very embarrassed in front of his interlocutor. Still, he took off his mask and hat. The interlocutor asked him if he was a doctor, and noted that it was immediately obvious that he was a respected person. The man said that he was just born into a doctor's family, but otherwise he is worthless. The lady told him that it was all wrong. The doctor apologized to Miori at the end of the meeting and asked if he could meet with someone else. Miori confirmed this. At the next meeting, he was again forced to take off his outer clothing. The woman noted that she could not even think that she would ever find herself at a meeting with a doctor. He believed that she must be very disappointed in him, but the girl denied all this. The doctor apologized to Miori after the meeting and said that he needed someone else. Miori believed that it was difficult for him to carry on a conversation. The man confirmed this and apologized that it was because of his shyness. Besides, it seems to him that no one wants to talk to him, so he always hid his face. If he doesn't make eye contact, the other person will feel awkward. If he's unable to look into his eyes, then he can try looking between the eyebrows. This will make it seem like he is looking straight into your eyes. In addition, you can immediately let the person know that he is shy. Even if he becomes silent in the middle of a conversation, there will be no misunderstanding. After all, the interlocutor will know that he is a little embarrassed. And another very important point is that it is better to refrain from negative statements. Vitya, who looked at his profile card, chose him, so he should be more confident in himself. And yet the meeting did not go as well as we would have liked. While thinking, Miori was again visited by the same man from the forest. Miori apologized for last time, but Chamberlain said that everything was fine. The girl tried to find his card. The man noticed that she was poking around, that she had a lot of work. Now I am also among bar visitors. This is a hot topic for discussion. They say in this agency you can meet a doctor. This is certainly true, but so far little has come of it. The main problem is that the doctor lacks self-confidence. Miori had organized meetings for the doctor before having a high income and social stability. The doctor was completely confident in himself and married the girl of his dreams. Therefore, she wonders if she can help someone who has failed, even in Kura. Miori said that he wanted such a meeting, which he could not find in Kura. Chamberlain noted that perhaps this place was his last hope. That's probably true. Unlike Miori finds a different approach to clients, and this is the advantage of her agency. You can't give up. Miori is very grateful to Chambertin. He once again offered her that very tasty treat in case she got tired. The man asked Rockfall what he was doing. He kept thinking why he was rejecting the proposal from the Kura, and he went to look for a companion in the city. The man was shocked with you that he wanted to bring a commoner into the house. It's better than stopping your mouth altogether. He shouted that he should not have rejected the marriage proposal from the very beginning, but he was completely spoiled by him. The man doctor understood that no one would ever love him. Miori provided him with the girl's profile for today's meeting. The doctor noticed that, after all, someone like him would never marry. Rockfall said he was scary fat and had terrible skin. People come to him only because he is a doctor. Otherwise, no one would come to someone like him. A girl knocked and asked congratulations to introduce herself. Her name is Olda. Miori greeted her happily and told her to sit down. The doctor, as always, took off his hat and mask. Miori said that if they needed anything, they could call her. The guy thought that he was good for nothing, after all. The girl decided to ask him if he likes children. The doctor was surprised by this question, after which the girl immediately asked how many children he would like. Rockfall admitted that he had never thought about it. It would be terrible if they grew up to look like him. The girl didn't quite understand what was terrible about this, and once again repeated her question whether he wanted children. Still, the doctor said that he really wants children. Olda asked Miori to come to him. She said that they would like to get to know each other better. Rockfall was simply horrified, and the girl said that their interests coincided, so she did not understand at all what the problem was. Miori noticed that, in general, she was right. The man tried to refuse this to the doctor in every possible way. But in the end, he reconciled and asked her to take care of him. Miori said that means they decided to get to know each other better, so they have 3 dates to do so. The doctor decided to ask what they usually do on dates. The first date can be spent over a short meal, so they can get to know each other's characters. It is better to arrange the second one longer than the first one, on which they can discuss plans after the wedding. The third date should be the longest. They will be able to talk about family or work, and then they will be able to find out their partner's values, and then they will be able to share their feelings with each other. If the feeling turns out to be mutual, then they can take more serious steps. They can always consult with her if they suddenly doubt something. Miori was very happy the videos didn't make any progress on the date, but she is still somehow worried. The feeling is that Olda is being sought after by the doctor, but it is unclear whether he will be able to become more persistent. In a relationship, a man should be a leader and give his partner peace of mind and a sense of confidence. It is necessary that the girl wants to follow him. There is nothing left but to believe in the cancer. First date day, Miori informed Rivaru that she would be gone for a while. Meeting place on a hill outside the city, Manhwa helped her pick out clothes. Miori thought she looked weird, but the girl said she was just cute. Miori decided that she would definitely not be recognized. Suddenly, the same man from the forest called her name, but the girl said that he had mistaken himself. But Chambertin stood his ground and said it was her. The girl believed that her glasses gave her away. She changed her usual appearance because she didn't want anyone to recognize her. Perhaps she is following someone. Well, based on her work, we can conclude that she is guarding someone's date. So he asked her if he could join. Miori didn't even know what to answer her. Chambertin noted that he wanted to know how dating went in general. Now she understood and said that this was also a kind of research. She allowed him, and they decided to go together. They need to go on about 3 dates. The first involves a light lunch. Well, if they often walk together before the wedding, it will become noticeable. The man noticed that she was right. They seem to get a lot of attention too, although most likely only Chamberlain. It's all because of his appearance, and the girl is sure that he is definitely popular. Suddenly, they came across this couple, after which they began to follow them. Olda decided to ask the doctor why he was wearing a mask. The man said that he always wears it on the street and at work because he thinks that he will spoil the mood of those who see his face. People might see her with someone like him, and it would make her very ashamed. Olda laughed. She said that she would not be ashamed. However, having lunch together is still a bad idea. That's what the doctor thought. Olda told him to follow her in that case and took the man's hand. I didn't quite understand where she was dragging him. Miori apologized to the guy because they needed to run away. Chambertin himself understood this. but he didn't quite understand why she was doing this. She thought it was a good idea to spend time like this. If the percentage of people getting married increases, her agency will flourish. Miori said that then she would be at one with the Kura. Actually, she had recently come to this country and didn't know much about the Kura, but she had heard that their intentions were different from hers. Although marriages connect one family with another, if in the end the people themselves are unhappy, then there is no point in it. Therefore, Miori will do everything to make her sit down in order to make the master happy. Miori was very upset because while she was talking to the man, they left the forest. She thought it was the end, but suddenly she saw them. Olda led him to her garden. The man was surprised with you that this was her garden. The girl said that there was certainly no one here except them. Therefore, he can safely remove the mask. When he took off his mask and hat, this girl was delighted to finally see his face. Tomorrow, my mother came up to her and asked her if she was going on a date today. The guy snatched his mask from the doctor's hands. His brother started screaming for him to return it and asking for an apology for his brother. Mom asked Olda if she went on a date with this gentleman. She noticed that he was a nice man and wished them a good time, and her younger brother returned his mask. They apologized for being so noisy, but the man said everything was fine. The doctor noticed that this was a very beautiful place. Olda was very happy. Miori realized that they had a good atmosphere there. She will make him happy. Chamberlain decided to ask her who would make her happy. Miori didn't hear, so she asked again if he said something, but the man said that he didn't say anything. Then he said that she would put it on next time. At home, the man looked at himself in the mirror. He remembered all the words about how he was a freak, and that they were sick of him, and also that he was a monster. He was upset, but remembered how the girl told him that she finally saw his face and was very happy about it. The doctor began to cry a lot. Second date. Olda asked if everything was okay with him. She asked him if he wanted to help. He was good at housekeeping, so he would like to be useful in some way. Olda noted that in this case, she would not mind. They had fun together. The girl was very grateful to the doctor, because he simply saved her. But the man said that it was not worth it, but his lower back hurt very much. After which, he decided to ask her what they would do with those products. Olda told me that it would not be suitable for sale, so they would eat it themselves. He knew it. The view is important to me, so it's difficult to sell. Olda added that they are very tasty. She said that appearance doesn't matter at all. Still, he decided to ask why a woman like her decided to ask someone like him on a date. Olda that he worked in a hospital several years ago. He was doing an internship then. One day, her brother was bitten by a poisonous snake, and she brought him in for an examination. But he was frightened by his mask and fell into hysterics. But the man said that everything was fine and took off his mask. Then she decided that she wanted to be with him and start a family. The doctor said he was ugly. Olda assured him that it was what was inside that mattered to her. Chamberlain noted that they communicate well. Miori also agreed with him. Miori added that it would be great if things continued like this. Rockfall told his parents that he was home. Mom was shocked and didn't understand where he got so dirty. The guy handed her a whole box of vegetables, but the woman didn't understand where he got it from. He said that he actually went on a date. Mom was in Sunshine and started asking who she was. Rockfall said that this is the woman who raised them. This is Olda the farmer's daughter. The father shouted that he was an idiot. He believed that he was mocking him because the farmers were telling them about his daughter because she was not their equal. Rockfall said she takes him seriously. Well, the father shouted that even the fight was clear that she was communicating with him because of money. She's a liar and he's been through this before. But Rockfall believed that this girl was not like that. Third date, Rockfall was sure that she would fall for the money because it was impossible. This can't happen. Men started whispering behind him, and they started asking him if he really went on dates. They told him that there was no one uglier in the city than him. She's with him for £100 because of money. Rockfall said that this was not so. Apparently, she said that she wanted children. The man asked him if he really believed that she was not lying. After all, she says this in order to get married. Rockfall believed that this could not happen. The men told him to check if he didn't believe them. The man said that it was cool that she wanted children, even though she was disgusted. The doctor believed that they were mistaken, because this girl was not like everyone else. Today is the third date. It will be good if it continues. Rockfall is already in place. Chamberlain noticed that he was somehow strange today, and he asked the girl if she felt the same way. Ulda greeted him with joy. She asked how he liked the vegetables and whether they were tasty. Rockfall was sure that she would definitely accept him. Therefore, he immediately took off his mask and rushed at hers. He threw her on the floor, after which the girl began to ask her to let her go. Chamberlain decided not to waste time and immediately rushed to save her. Meanwhile, Miori ran up to Ulda and asked her if she was okay. The woman confirmed this. Miori angrily asked the doctor what he was doing. The doctor laughed and said that she really was a liar, like all the other girls. In the past, Kura introduced him to a girl to whom he became engaged. She said that she wanted to be with him because he was kind, but he heard screams. He decided to see where they were coming from. And this woman was screaming at Belle and saying that she had an appointment with the doctor, but she screamed that she didn't want this because the mere sight of him made her sick. And the thought of him touching her makes her feel uneasy. She would rather die than marry him. He was so arrogant, of course, it was all because of his face. Rockfall broke ties with her, then met another girl, but her words and facial expression showed the truth. When people see him, their perspective changes, and there is no way he can escape that. Even if people hide it, he still understands that they hate him. Ulda said that she wanted children, but in fact, she was disgusted that he hugged her. In the end, it turned out that she was a mercantile liar. Miori put glasses on him. The man did not quite understand what this meant. Miori said that he understood everything wrong, and now he is scared. He doesn't want to hurt himself, so he protects his heart. That's why he's so careful. But in order to protect his heart, he belittles and offends others. She's not sure if this will make him happy. Doll then said that he always insists that he is scary and impossible to communicate with. That's why it's hard for her. She will be unhappy with him, Miori said that. To give free rein to his actions, he wants to be refused and calm down. Even though he has now saved Ulda from the snake, he acts as if he is testing her on purpose. Chamberlain noted that he tried to save her from the very beginning. There's no need to test anyone. After all, Ulda was sincere with him from the very beginning. Ulda apologized to them and said that she simply didn't notice. But he saved her. The man shouted that it was all wrong, and Miori was right. Then, he didn't want to hurt himself. Ulda looked at him like that, but he couldn't believe it and protected his dirty heart. So he sincerely cried and asked for forgiveness. Miori asked permission to end these dates. The doctor told Miori that she could tear his card. The consultant didn't mind. The man said that if she doesn't do this, everything will happen again, and he doesn't know if he can change. But he wants to try. Miori saw many who wanted to change. It's already difficult to remember everyone. However, if he really wants to change, then he will definitely succeed. Ulda called the doctor and said that in order to get a tasty harvest, you need to start from the ground. Add lime, change the compost, and then delicious vegetables will definitely grow. Therefore, everything will be fine for him. Miori apologized to her for putting her in danger, although she was looking after her all this time, so she also forgives her for spying. But the girl said that it was okay, because in the end she helped her, so she is extremely grateful to her. Miori added that they would see each other again. Ulda said goodbye with tears in her eyes and left. Miori also thanked Chamberlain, as he was also very helpful. But when she looked to the side, she saw that there was no one near her. He was already in the forest and watched how the doctor looked at his mask, and as a result, they threw it away. When Miori returned, River noticed that she was late. He wondered if everything went well. Always just regrets. Perhaps they should have done this, or advised that, because if she had done it differently, they would have had a different future. Despite this, she connected them and changed the future. Rivard noticed that she did well today, and did a good job also in an unusual outfit and hairstyle. He decided to give her her reward. It was a calming candy. Miori smiled back at him and thanked him. Plus, there are many different solutions. That they allowed her to help is already a big part. She had already changed her clothes. Miori and I wanted to make everyone the main characters, Rivard asked her. It's better to flip through the main character herself. It may be temporary for now, but someday she will definitely become the main character. Miori asked if this meant that they would work out something together. Well, suddenly someone knocked. It was Chamberlain. They became very embarrassed and immediately moved away from each other. Miori thanked him again. The man said that he shouldn't, because it was an honor for him to help her. He realizes that apparently this ring is temporary. Rivard was terrified with you, that he heard everything. Miori said that she would explain everything, after which Chamberlain asked if he could give the real thing. Rivard angrily asked him what he was talking about. A girl came and said that she had come for advice about the wedding. Miori decided to continue doing everything according to the general instructions. This is the end.